Zoomers. Hey guys, Geoff Hetherington. Just bear with me while I sort out Zoom because it's decided it doesn't want to do what it wants to do. Right. Can you all just give me a thumbs up to let me know you can see the entire screen, which means me down the bottom waving my fingers and a slide over this shoulder. Fantastic. All right, we'll get moving then. All right, so today's about maximizing your business revenue. The thing is that welcome to what we're doing. No rainbows or unicorns, just useful stuff you can use. I'm not going to go through who I am. You should know who I am by now. If not, happy to have a chat with you about it later on. Time is short, so we will go now. Money equals what? Choice. Essentially what money does, money is choice. The more money you've got, the more choices you can make. The key things are firstly deciding how much is enough money or how much is enough choice before you decide to start chasing after money just for its own sake or forever be running after more money, more money, more money. Understand, money is a tool that gives you choices. That's what it's about. That's all it is. And this other saying is very true as well. Cash is king. Will always be king. All right. Now, I know the banks aren't giving you cash anymore, and Hamilton Island's in the news this morning because they've been cashless since COVID, etc. But the bottom line is money, if you like, is always king. But before you start earning money, there's a couple of things you've got to get in order. You've got to get your product and service. You've got to get your personal productivity, and you've got to have a plan. In other words, you've got to get your ducks all lined up in a row. So what do you sell? You need to be very, very clear on what you sell. In other words, you need to be selling a solution to a problem that people will pay money for. Too many people have a solution in search of a problem. But if you've got a solution to a problem that is giving people pain, or is maybe something that looks to drive them closer to pleasure, because they're the two things that people work from, that's what you need to do. And then you've got to understand who's it for, what's the problem I solve, how often do they need it, how do I deliver it, how much do I charge, etc. So things can be life-changing, or they might just be something clever, like an origami tea bag. The other thing you've got to do is you've got to make sure your product's got a good market fit. I don't know about you, but they look like ears of corn to me, not onions, in that left-hand orange bag over there. And the base warehouse, which is no longer at Erina here where I live, but it was there for 3 years, and they said, Aussie, 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 we. So maybe they got Bastille Day confused with things as well. But if you want a good market fit, look at the one on the right-hand side. Perfect for any bloke who's spending too much on stuff and bikes that he shouldn't do. I love the idea of giving a receipt that matches what you told your spouse you would pay. Your product and service should literally solve a real problem. It should be something you can deliver with skill, confidence, and expertise. It's something people should be willing to pay for, and it's something you should know inside out and back to front. You should understand things like, is it an online thing? Is it a digital product? Is it ephemeral? Is it a hybrid type product? How often do people have to buy it? How often will I have to deliver it, and how will I deliver it person to person, etc. Your product should solve a problem most of all, but most of all, next thing is it should be something that gives you a good earn, and it's something you pretty much enjoy doing. Here's the key question. Who's responsible for making the money in your business? And the answer is really quite simple. It's a productive you. You need to be productive in your business. At the end of the day, many of us who are small business owners actually aren't owners. We are self-employed, which means we've got a job. If you want to make the leap from being self-employed to being a business owner, you've got to increase your revenue. You've got to understand your products, but you've also got to be personally productive. Now, personally productive means things like understanding how to use a 5x5 list. In other words, what are the 5 things that I write down tonight at 5 o'clock that I'll have completed by 5 p.m. the following night? It means looking at your week and peeling out compression sessions. Most of us can work 45 minutes to an hour and a half on a single thing. So we get more done in those times. That's why they're called a compression session. So how many compression sessions have you got in your diary? Maybe you can theme your days. If you work from home or from an office with your business, maybe you do all your marketing on Monday. Maybe you do all your sales calls on Wednesday. The key thing is you need to schedule your week. In structure lies freedom, and too many self-employed or business owners don't understand that. You must make yourself as productive as possible. The reason I push the 5x5 so often, and those of you who know me will have heard me talk about it, is every day we need to finish up with two things. One is a sense of accomplishment, and the second thing is a bit of fun. I can't look after the fun, that's what YouTube or whatever's for, but a sense of accomplishment comes at 5 o'clock at night when you put a line through all the 5 things that you wrote down the day before you said you were going to do. It makes a big, big difference. And it also means you can walk home or go home switched off because your brain knows, your subconscious knows what 5 things you're focusing on tomorrow. If you've got a plan, you need to have a budget, which means you need to know your numbers. You need to understand things like what's your average transaction value? What's the lifetime value of a customer? In other words, every customer, whether they stay with you a day, a week, a year, or a decade, how much revenue do they generate for your business? Because that goes into planning your budget. You need to understand things. If you don't have a budget, you need to get one. Now, your accountant can help you get this, or your bookkeeper can. There's lots and lots of different ways of literally deciding how to do a budget. You can do, last year's sales plus inflation. You can do a wishful budget, whatever. The key thing is, again, if you want to move from being self-employed to being a true business owner, if you want to get out the weeds and get to the top of the mountain, you need to have some form of budget. You need to know your numbers that you're working towards. So how do you increase your revenue? Here's the main ways to increase your revenue. First of all, your business has to become top line driven. Now, I'm not saying profit isn't important. After all, I call myself the profitability coach. But too many people focus on the bottom line profit. And the way they get there is they cut costs, which often means they're cutting things out of their business that enables them to drive sales. If you're top line focused, that means you're chasing sales as much as possible. And then if you control your costs, you're going to have a much more profitable business. But look, you can increase your prices, you can add products or expand your range. You can decrease the utility of products and services, which I'll talk about in a couple of slides. You can up, down, or even cross-sell. You can sell more to existing clients, get more clients, or you can even move into a new marketplace. Top line driven, but control costs. Really just spoke about that. The key thing is every bit of success in your business is determined by how much you generate in terms of revenue. You don't generate revenue, can't pay for anything else. It doesn't matter how tightly you control your costs. If your revenue line's not making what it needs to, you're there. So when you're planning your budget, you need to become top line driven, but yes, you need to control your costs. Increase your prices. Well, you can increase your prices by inflation, or you can add on 5% or 10%. The 10 and 25% simply says this: if you increased all your prices today by 10%, you would have to lose about 25% of your existing clients before you'd be making less money. Now, you're going to lose a quarter of your clients just by moving your prices up 10%? Not likely. One of the things I find with every business owner I work with is they're not charging enough. So think about that. Increase your prices by 10%. That's something worthwhile doing. You can limit availability. I mean, you do it genuinely. I don't like these things that say, it's an electronic download, but there's only 30 copies. That's BS. But limit the availability, limit your time. How often can people get to see you? How often can they get to talk with you? You can add a level of value and stuff, and then increase things. You can add more things to the product you sell. You can add a face-to-face time with you if you want. And you need to promptly pass on cost increases. Don't do what the supermarkets do, which is ripping everyone off from either end of the supply chain to customers. But if you have a price increase in your business, then you need to pass the cost on. Most people accept that if it's genuine. All right. Expanding your offering is quite simply, you can maybe look at splitting existing services or products into 2 or more stages. The old bronze, silver, gold, the old good, better, best. Think about what you can do with your products or services to do that. Find complementary products or services that you can add to it. An example, if you're a personal trainer at a gym, of course, you should be selling something like Isogenics. It's a complementary product to increase your sales. You can create new products out of talking to your existing clients and they say, gee, this really pisses me off. I need something fixed. You can look on Temu or Alibaba and find left field products which will fit in with what you're doing. And you can add more value. Again, if your business is based around you, then maybe adding some personal time with people will help. Decrease the utility of stuff simply means is to take an existing product or service and make it slightly less useful than it was. We're all heard of shrinkflation. You know, Tim Tams used to be 12 in a packet, now they're 10, okay? We used to have full-size tyres in our cars, now we've got a space-saver tyre. My personal favourite is soap on tap. When Johnson & Johnson first released this 35 years ago, it was a huge hit. Everyone was buying it, but no one was rebuying it because it was so good that it was lasting too long. So how do they get people to buy it more regularly? It's easy. The little pipe where the soap came out, they increased the diameter of that by 30%, and suddenly they started selling a lot more quickly. So that's what you can do to decrease the utility of things. You can upsell, cross-sell, downsell. Macca's is a cross-sell. Would you like fries to that order? It used to be worth $1 billion a year to them globally. You can have different levels of product. You can do gold, silver, bronze. So if someone's buying a silver product, you can sell them up to a gold product, or if they can't afford silver, you can downsell them to a bronze product. Remember, lower prices shouldn't mean lower features. So maybe you offer something that's do it yourself, not done for you or done with you. Selling more to existing clients, add things to what you sell, add complementary products, as we mentioned before. Maybe have offers just for existing clients. Offer them an update. If it's a software thing, there's a natural thing there, but maybe it's something that you've sold them in the past. There's an update too, all right? Offer them additional training, maybe add-on products, and try and build a tribe. You know, you look at all these places, you know, that have got the t-shirts and the baseball caps and the jackets and all that. They're trying to build a tribe. You know, people walk around wearing someone else's insignias and doing free marketing for them. Maybe you've got a product that lends itself to building a tribe through things like that. Other one, get more clients. If you don't have a clear value proposition or a unique selling point or a specific point of difference, you're going to get lost in the red ocean of everyone else. There's a thing called blue ocean strategy. It's been around for years from Harvard professors, Chan, etc. But it basically says if you're in blue ocean, you've got no competition because your product is so unique, no one else comes close to it. That happens in the tech space for about 3 months before someone reverse engineers it. Red ocean is where everyone's competing in price and they're on a race down to the bottom where they can't literally sell it for anything less than that. The idea is you want to get into light blue ocean where you have a clear differentiator between you and your competition that makes you stand out from the best. It's a million channel world out there, and to cut through, you've got to have something unique or different about you and what you do. You can market and promote better. Campfires and watering holes. Campfires are where people choose to be. So that might be a bar, that might be a sports club, it might be things like that. Watering holes is places where they have to be. If you think about David Attenborough with his nature documentaries, you know, where do all the animals turn up at night? The watering hole. They have to. They've got no choice. So what's the watering hole for your clients? Where do they have to be, and how can you promote there? Maybe start promoting to new markets. Maybe you were, you know, just focusing on 40-plus-year-old women like young Ms. Mock does, but maybe she expands that to 30-plus women and expands the market that way. Look at joint ventures. Who serves your clientele but isn't in direct competition with you? That's called OPN, other people's networks. But who do you know that serves the same clients you do but doesn't compete with you? And then, of course, you can network, use things here where you get people to know, like, and trust you, and eventually, hopefully, they'll advocate for you and introduce you to people they know who can use your services. You can try a new market, as I said, joint ventures, other people's networks. There might be a new application or a new way to use your thing that you happen to do. You can rebadge it, rebuild it, or version it. You know, this is what the car companies do for years. They've had a great, Toyota's built everything off the old Corolla chassis for about 30 years before they finally changed it. They just changed the cosmetics on top. You can do that. You can alter the dress, and what that means is simply repurpose it. Repurpose what you do, and maybe it will look after something else for people. And you can sell more. If you happen to have a team, have a competition. Whoever sells the most in a defined period of time gets a prize. Declare war on white spaces. Now, if you're somewhere where you need appointments and need to talk to clients, it doesn't matter if you're a hairdresser, a physiotherapist, a business coach, a life coach, you depend upon appointments. The more white spaces you have in your diary, the less money you're earning. So declare war on white spaces. Maybe you can create bundles, 3-for-2 bundles. You know? Maybe you can have a second service you can add on at a lower price. Maybe you can reactivate old clients with a call or an offer. How's it going? And most importantly, maybe you should spend some time training your staff how to sell. That's it, folks. Thank you. very much for your attention. I'll stop the share, and then if you've got any questions, we'll have a chat.